guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, this is going to be a Princess Elena of Avalor inspired look. She is the newest Disney princess and she is a Latin princess, and since I am half Spanish, I decided why not record this tutorial for you guys, especially because Halloween is just around the corner and I think she would be the perfect look for you guys to recreate. If you're looking to be a princess, why not be one of the newest ones? And my daughter's name is Mila Elena, so of course I decided that Elena would be the perfect one for me to get up for you guys. For at least, I want to do one more Halloween look if I have time to get it up for you guys. If not, this is the one I'm having for this year, for 2016. As always, don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, comment down below any questions for future requests, and subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and I'll talk to you beauties in my next one. Bye! So first I'm just going to be taking this green color corrector so I can of course go into all the areas that have some redness and get rid of all that. Since this is a princess recreation, we want to have a perfected skin look. Alright, so now that I look like I have like a green mask on my face, we of course went and kind of balanced out all of that redness on the skin. So alright, I'm going to be going in with this Milani foundation, and it's in the shade 05 Warm Beige. Since Princess Elena is of course a Latin princess, she's a little bit more on the warmer type of skin tone, so I'm going to go ahead and deepen mine just a little bit with this one right here. It absolutely covers all blemishes and conceals at the same time, so it's going to give us, like I said, that flawless perfection that we're going for. I'm just going to be taking this Morphe G2 brush to apply my foundation. I just applied it to this palette right here. I swirl it all into the brush, and then I'm just going to be dabbing it on. I like to dab into the skin, this way we get the most coverage, and then I'll just kind of smooth it on through so we don't have any markations from the brush or anything. So now that the foundation is all done, I'm going to go ahead and do the eye look. I don't like to apply any type of concealers prior to this, just because if we tend to have some fallout and anything like that, it's much easier to wipe it all away and apply our concealer so it looks more fresh once done. So for Elena, she just does something very traditional, nice, simple eye look. When I looked at photographs, of course it is, when you're trying to recreate a cartoon character, it's of course a lot more difficult because to find eye looks where their eyes are closed or such, it was a little bit harder to find, so I found ones mainly with her eyes open, but it looks like she doesn't do anything too crazy with her makeup. It's mainly about her bold lip and rosy cheeks, so the eyes are more subtle. So I'm going to be going in with the Lorac Pro Palette here, since this is filled with tons of neutral shades, so this will be perfect to work with. I can use only this palette, so it's simple for those of you trying to recreate it as well, as I'm not dipping into tons of other colors from other palettes or single shadows. So as always, you guys know that I go in with a color to create a blank canvas on the eyelid. The one that I'm going in with today is going to be cream, since it's closest to the skin tone, and just applying that all over the entire eye space. Now I didn't apply any type of primer on my eyelids because that foundation is actually really full coverage. So since you saw I was just brushing that over the eyes, that was enough to create a kind of get rid of like the veins or redness on my upper eyelids. Alright, now to define our crease, I'm going to be using taupe from the palette and just a tapered blending brush and applying that right into the crease of the eye. We're not going to be using a wide range of colors, like I said, keeping it neutral and simple. Alright, next to deepen up the crease area, I'm going to be taking the shade Sable and placing that right in our crease area, but this time it's going to be a little bit lower, and I'm not going to be dragging it up as close to the brow bone as I did with the taupe shade. Alright, next with this flat eyeshadow brush, I'm going to be applying the color Cream once again, but this one tends to pack on a lot more color, so I'm going to be placing this on the lower inside part of the lid. This way we can just make our eyes appear larger and a more bright-eyed look. Alright, next what we're going to do is taking a smaller type of tapered blending brush and applying the color Espresso. As you can see, I'm just kind of going in and deepening up the crease area just to give a lot more shadows and kind of contour out that eye. Princess Elena has a very beautiful wide brown-eyed look, so that is what we're of course going to be doing since we're recreating a look here. So just tapping that off, and this particular color, since it is dark and we don't want to smoke out the eye too much, I'm just going to be placing it here on the outer corner, as you can see. So the outer portion of that lid, and bring it slightly into the crease area, but not surpassing the middle. We don't want to go too deep into there, because like I said, we don't want to muddy and smoke out this look. Alright, I'm just taking this blending brush once again, the one that we previously used with the sable shade. I'm just going to kind of be, since this is much fluffier, just kind of blending everything out once again so that it is not so distinct, harsh lines. You want to make sure everything's nice and blended. Alright, now that's pretty much it for the upper eye area. Like I said, very simple, neutral look. When I do my lower lash line, we're going to be first applying the concealer for that part. But before I skip ahead to that, we're of course going to be applying our eyeliner. So the one that I'm using today is just the NYC liquid liner. This is my go-to. I use it in almost every single tutorial. So we're going to be just giving us a winged eyeliner for this. Nice and simple and easy. So you want to use something nice and black because it looks like that's what she has in the picture, and it of course focuses nice emphasis on her eyes. So you guys know that I struggle with this, getting it on camera. So I have my mirror in front. I'm just going to kind of go a little bit closer. If I get it, great. If not, I'm just going to kind of be tweaking it off camera. Okay, so I went ahead and just finished off the eyeliner, applied my false lashes, and did one brow off camera. So I'm back and I'm going to show you guys how I do the other eye. Now for Princess Elena, looking at her pictures, she just has very simple brow look. No, crazy arch or anything like that. It just pretty much goes with her same brow shape, following the natural shape of my own. I'm just kind of going to do the same thing. I'm not going to go with any, I'm not going to go overdrawn or anything like that, but as you can see, compared to my natural brow, I did go much darker, only because the wig and everything that I'm going to be applying to complete the look is very dark. So I want to go along with all of that, and she has very, very dark brows in the photographs.
So just brushing them out, and then of course just filling in the natural shape first with the brow is, and then I'll go in with my Anastasia powder just to deepen it up.
Okay, so that's it for the brows. The brows to the top of the eyes. Now I'm going to go in with my concealer to conceal my dark circles and add a little bit of brightness to the face, as well as finish up this lower lash line. So I'm just going in with my Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo concealer. I'm just going to be placing that the V shape under my eye, as I always do for those of you that watch my previous tutorials. So just going on in there and generously applying concealer. I like to go down the sides of the nose over here on this portion, just so that I can slender out the nose a little bit, because she does have a thin nose shape. So we're going to do that, and then you'll also see I'm going to contour just a little bit, because same thing, she has a very thin, long face, contoured, slender cheekbones. So I'm going to do the same thing to get closer to her actual face shape. And just taking my beauty blender, I'm going to just spritz it with some water to get it nice and damp. And I'm just going to blend out all of this concealer as I normally would. So now it's nice and wet. Well, damp, not wet. And buffing all of that out. The one thing I did forget to do was set this brow, so I'm just going to quickly do that so that my concealer doesn't get all stuck in there and move around the brows. So there we go. That was just some Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. So continuing on, searching for my beauty blender, we're just going to buff all of that concealer in. Sorry guys that I'm like looking down. I just applied my camera like on a different angle for this video, like slightly higher. So I'm just adjusting to that to see if I'm going to like recording my videos this way or trying out different angles to see what works best with lighting and setup and everything. So I'm going to try looking into the camera as best I can, while also looking down into this mirror to make sure I have everything blended properly. And all of this concealer, I'm going to set all of those areas with my powder. The one I'm using is my Laura Mercier Eye Brightening Powder. I apply this under the eyes as well as pretty much any areas that I highlighted. You can use a different type of powder for the other parts of your face, but usually since it's right there in front of me, it's just easiest to gravitate towards that. So that's what I'm doing. And we are going to bronze a little bit and contour, as I mentioned, just to kind of get us closer to her skin complexion. Okay, so now that all of those areas are nice and set, we are now going to go in with the contouring and bronzing. So first I'm going to go in with the bronzer because that kind of just is going to warm up our skin a little bit. Taking this Real Techniques like fluffy duo fiber brush and my Makeup Forever bronzer. I'm just going to be placing that all in. It's a nice big brush, swirl it all in and get it in all the areas that we're going to be contouring. I notice this works really great when you want to warm up your skin and prior to contouring, just because it helps with the blending a lot easier and you don't notice like a harsh chiseled line, especially when you're recreating like a princess type of look. Their skin is meant to look naturally beautiful and perfect, so you don't want to look anything too over dramatic on your face when you're recreating something like this. Alright, so that's good for the bronzing. Now for contour, I'm going to be taking this smaller brush, this contour brush. It is the Sigma Small Contour 405 brush. And I'm going to be going in with the with the Benefit Hoola bronzer. So that I'm going to be using for my contour. It's slightly different shade than the Makeup Forever that we just used. So you want to make sure you're using something slightly different and just go into those hollows. The farther away you hold the brush, the less product it's going to produce, giving it, of course, a more natural appearance. And now we're going to finish that lower lash line. So I'm just going to go in with the color Sable once again. But before I do that, I do want to apply my eyeliners. So for the first eyeliner that I'm going to be doing, like I told you guys, she has a very bright-eyed look. She has much bigger eyes than me, of course, since I mentioned it's a cartoon character. So I'm going to go in with my Inner Rim by Tarte. And this is just basically the color of your skin tone. You guys have seen me use this in many tutorials when I kind of want to open up the eye look. And it works great for that. So I'm just going to apply that in so it can make my natural eyes appear a little bit larger. And then for the outer corner of her eyes, so like I said, it looks like she has eyeliner on the upper lid. And then for this lower portion, it looks like she kind of just has a little bit of black going from the outer corner into the middle. She doesn't bring it all the way in, and she doesn't apply it directly into the inner rim as I did with that lighter shade. So with the lightest hand, I'm doing that, as you guys can see. Just the outer portion of the eye into the middle, that's all. And you're not going to be going inside the eye. I'm just trying to take a very light hand. Now the next thing I'm going to be doing is taking, like I said, that sable color, and you're going to be taking a pencil brush. This is the E30 brush from Sigma, and I'm going to dipping it into that sable color from the Lorac palette once again, and just buffing that under the lower lashes. So that's it for the eyes. Now, as you can see, something more natural, simple, but still very put together, and of course making the eyes more focused on the brown eyes. The lashes that I applied, I can't remember the number, I'm sorry, because I kind of take things out of packaging and I just apply them into this case here, so it doesn't work to remember lashes. But these just kind of are regular on the inside, and then the outside they kind of flare out as you look at pictures of her. She does have lashes like that, where the outside is a little more like wispy and kind of winged, so that was the type of lash I decided to go with. Now onto the cheeks. So like I said, you guys saw me contour, you saw me add some bronzer. Now for blush. Her blush was definitely a very important focus. In all the photographs, I feel like she had very rosy cheeks, and you definitely notice she was wearing lots of blush. So the one I'm using today is from Bellami, and it is in the shade 02 Rose d'Oro. So basically rose gold is the shade, and I'm just going to be taking my blush brush and applying that on the cheeks. Now you guys know when I generally apply my blush, I tend to focus mainly on this area, but since this is a princess look, she had so much blush on the apples of her cheeks. So we're going to be doing that same thing. So apples, and then whatever's left, I'm going to blend in. Now onto our lips. Now the cheeks and the face are all done with the eyes. I'm going to be going in first with a lip liner. This is the Revlon Color Stay in the color Wine. She has a red type of lip, and depending on the image that you search, sometimes it's more like a wine type of red, sometimes it's like a cherry type of red. So I decided to mix these two colors, and she does have a glossy lip. So I decided to go with the liner and a gloss. This way we can create the perfect kind of shade of the mix of the two. So I'm just going to line my lips, and the liner I'm going to be applying it everywhere, not just the outer rim. Okay, so I decided to just kind of complete the look a little bit better before I finish off with the lips. So continuing on with the liner, and then like I said, I'm going to be applying a gloss over top to give it a more red type of look. Okay, so that's it for the liner, and for the gloss, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in the color Date Night. These are very pigmented if you've used them before, so they work great for this type of look. And as I said in the pictures, it looks like she has like a glossy type of lip, so I wanted to add this, which I think is perfect.